Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll be taking you through exactly how to prepare this amazing bar chart in Power BI. And so if this is something that you would like to get to know how to do, alright, and upgrade your bar chart from the normal to this, then I'll kindly urge you to stay with me as I take you through the entire process. Let's jump right in.
It's all gonna be good. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about nothing, nothing now. It's all gonna be good. So breathe like you know you should. Yeah, breathe till you've understood. Until you're feeling like.
Okay, so this essentially is just a simple bar chart that is supposed to show the total sales by month. All right, so you can see the total sales. Okay, all right, like so. You can see the total sales by the various months. All right, but then we are able to add a little bit of adjustment so that we can compare and then get information for the previous month as well. All right, turning it to something like this. So this is what we'll be doing. So let me now go back in and show you how we do this or how I do this. All right, so like I already stated, it's simply a total sales by trend kind of chart, all right, or visualization. So in order to do this, we are going to go look for total sales. I already have my total sales right over here. So this is my total sales and it is by month, all right. And so I'm going to go to my calendar dim table where I've already created my month, all right. So essentially this is all we are looking for, all right. This is the entirety of the visualization. All right, it just total sales by month, as you can see if I put them side by side. All right, so total sales, all right, by month, total sales by month. All right, and so once we've gotten here and everything looks fine at this point, we can now go in and do some formatting. So we want to format this entire visualization into how we want to have it. All right, so you are going to look at the font style, you are going to look at the font size, you are going to look at the heading, all of that, whether we want to keep the x-axis or we don't want to keep the x-axis, whether I want to keep the y-axis or not. All right, so it's essentially formatting. Okay, so let's go in and do that. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to go to the format of visual tab. All right, and for me in this particular visualization, I like to keep the values for the x-axis, but I don't want to keep the labels. All right, so for my values, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. All right, and for my font style, I always want it to be Times New Roman, and then I can increase this a little bit. Okay, and for my color, I want it to be black, actual black. All right, okay, and now that looks good, but I don't want for the title, so I'm going to turn the title off. All right, so that now I have just that. Okay, and then for my y-axis, which is this entire column, I really don't want to keep anything on there. All right, so I'm going to remove the values as well as the title, so that now I have something like so. All right, good. Now once I have this, one other thing I can also do is that I can just add some zoom sliders. All right, so like so, to make it look more appealing. All right, and so now everything is coming along perfectly, everything is looking good except for this. All right, and so what we can do, okay, so what we can do is to come to our title section. All right, and then we can either change the title over here, all right, or format it right over here, but that is not exactly what we want to do. All right, we want to represent this title. All right, we want to represent our title with this is what we want to do. So we will get to find this then later, or we are going to add this later, but this is currently going to be our title. All right, so we have our title here, and in this case you can just write the figure. All right, because this title here changes with the year that we select. Okay, changing with the year that we select, and that is what we actually want. So let me go to the 2000s, and if I select this, you can see this is currently the total sales for the entire year period. All right, and then 2005, this is the total sales for the entire year period. All right, so this is what we want to see, so that whenever we select the year, the title or the amount over the changes with the year that we've selected. All right, reflecting the total sales for that year. Okay, all right, and so in order to do this, we can just type an amount here. All right, if you have to just type an amount here like 56 965, like so. So we are going to get this, but this is not what we want. All right, because if we change it, they're still not changing with the corresponding year. All right, so that's not what we want. Okay, all right, and so to do this, we are going to use something that we've already created. all right, we are going to use a measure, all right, to show that. And the measure that we are going to use is going to be total sales text, all right. And this is simply as formatting the total sales, or the total sales, right. It's simply as formatting the total sales. Okay, wait, hold on. All right, so I made a mistake here. So this is actually supposed to be total sales. Okay, supposed to be total sales, like so. All right, supposed to be total sales. Okay. All right, so it's supposed to be total sales and not total games. All right, because total games is a kind of games. So we just created a new measure, and we call the measure our text measure. All right, and so we are simply saying that the total sales by text. This is the format that we want to give it. All right, so it's simply the format of the total sales, and this is the format. All right, where we have this. All right, in quotation marks, dollar, hashtag, comma, dollar, dollar. So like so, so you can see the dollar sign, and then you can see the first digit, and then comma, and then the last three digits. All right, so it's as simple as that. Okay, so if they are first, if they were, it was supposed to be 60,000, it will also show. We just use this one and then the three, so we are counting in thousands. All right, so after the first three, all right, from the back, then that is the first thousand, and then we have the millions and so on and so forth. All right, so it really doesn't change anything. If there were so many, we'll just still leave it like so, and then Power BI will do what it has to do. Okay, so this is the format that we are giving it. All right, and we are calling this the total sales text. All right, I'm calling the total sales text, so that once we come here, what we are going to do is that if we want to change this, all right, or give this a title, because we've already made it a measure, all right, I'm going to come right here, okay, and I'm going to go to my title column, and my title column, instead of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the conditional formatting section, and I'm going to use the format style field values. All right, and she's going to ask me what fold should we base this on, and the fold that I wanted to base on is the one we just created, which is the sales text. All right, so we are going to use this, and I'm going to click on OK. All right, so that now we have this. Okay, and so like I said, this is the measure that we use. You can look at it as we are following along. All right, and this measure is simply so that once we select any year, the total sales for that particular year changes with the year. All right, changes with the year, and this is simply formatted. So we are formatting the total sales. All right, and formatting the total sales, we are formatting it, and then formatting it into this style. All right, so it's just as simple as that, and we are doing this so that we can use the text, because this is a title. All right, it's a title, and for titles you need to use a text format, all right, kind of thing, to fill in the titles. All right, you can't just use a figure, you need to use the title. So other than that, we could have just done some total sales and then left like that, but that is not going to work. All right, it needs to be in a text form, a string form, and that is why we went in there to further convert it or format it into a text format. All right, like so. All right, so now that we have this, okay, what can we do now? We can now go in and format our title. All right, whichever way or how we want. Okay, so we have our title now. Okay, and I'm going to come down here. So this is my title, the conditional formatting. So I'm going to bold my title, as you can see, and now I can increase my title a little bit, so about 18. Okay, increase it to about 18, and then for my my style is going to be Times New Romance, like so. Right, oh, why is it not selecting? All right, so now I've selected it, so like so, and now I can have it black. All right, so let's increase a little bit to about 19. Okay, and now that I have this, I can align it to the right. All right, so that I have something like this, like so, right over here. So let's try increasing it a little bit more. All right, to about 20. Okay, so now we have that out of the way, and this is looking pretty fine. All right, so this is looking pretty fine, but still we still have a long way to go. So what we are going to do is now we need to fill in this title. All right, so that anyone that sees this knows that this is total sales. All right, by month. Okay, so how can we do this? All right, so this is simply us coming right into our text box, and then once we select our text box, we are just going to type in total sales, as simple as that. And we can do our formatting, we can bolding this. All right, we can put this in the middle, we can change the style of this to Times New Roman. Right, again I want to change Times New Roman, and we can increase the font size to about 20, or 24 depending on what you are doing. All right, so we didn't select this, so now we need to go in and do for that. All right, so this is times New Roman. Okay, times New Roman, like so, in the middle, and we are bolding it. All right, so now that we have this, we can simply just go in and remove the effects, so whatever background. All right, so that we just have this. Okay, so now let's make this smaller, like so. We can copy this, whole thing. All right, excuse me. So now we can copy this whole thing and then drag it here. Okay, so that now it's looking almost good. All right, so this is going to have to go to the back. We are going to send this to back, send to back, right, so that we can have this right in there. Okay, all right. Oh, please send backwards. All right, so now we have like so, but still with this I like to add some borders to this. All right, just to separate it. So I'm going to go to effects, and then I'm going to come down to visual border. All right, and for visual borders I'll just like to leave it as black, and then 2. All right, so we can bring it back here, and then we can carry this all the way up here, right, so that now it looks good. Right, now it looks good. So there are a few more things to do. Now we need this, and we need the 2 tips, the data labels. All right, so let's work on the data labels. Okay, and to do that, I'm simply going to come back here to my data labels, turn my data labels on, and as you can see, voila, it's as simple as that. Okay, all right, so we can format our data labels as well by increasing this. All right, changing the color to black, and like so. All right, and so now this is looking good. All right, now this is looking kind of good. Okay, great. So now that I have this, now what else can I do? Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to go, and then for my bars, do some formatting to my bars. All right, so I'm going to come right here to my columns, which are my bars. All right, and I'm going to go to conditional formatting, and what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, if it's low, I want it to be this color, and if it's maximum, that's the highest value, I want it to be green. All right, if it's the maximum, I want it to be green. So like so, like so, and I have this. So now that we have this, we are going to remove the legends. Okay, you can simply do that by coming to legend and removing it. So now it looks okay. Okay, now it looks okay, but that is not all. There's still one more thing to do. All right, so now we've gotten up to this stage, but there's still one more thing to do, and that is this. So how do we do this? All right, so this is simply a sub. Hello, I'm Meshak here, and still in the course of the video, just wanted to take a minute and to let you know that if you're a small business owner or someone trying to break into data analytics, hey, you should know that I can help you move faster without confusion. Over here, I offer one-on-one data analytics coaching where I teach you practical skills in Power BI, SQL, Excel, Python, alright, and business insights tailored to your goals. Whether it's for improving decisions or landing a role, you are at the right place. I also needed to know that I've also created a Power BI beginner ebook that breaks everything down step by step, no jargon, no overwhelming. And so if you are ready to actually understand data and use it with confidence, I'll ask you to check the links right below. I've attached it to my video. Alright, and you can see, so this is my one-on-one coaching where you can book a coaching session with me. Then you can get to ask me questions directly, and I can help you to solve any problem that you are looking to solve when it comes to data analytics. You can also find my ebook here, right? And so if there is something that you like, you can simply go in and then you can purchase it, and it's quite affordable, so you can just go in and purchase it, and trust me that you are going to get the value that you are looking for as you buy this book. All right, so without much ado, I digress. Let's move back to the video. So now we need to find a way to show the year-over-year percentage change on year. All right, so we need to find a way to get the year-over-year percentage change, and so that if I'm to select any one of these years, all right, and we are looking at year, all right, don't forget that we are looking at year, So if I'm to select 2004, this is the total sales, all right, and it's a 5.4% decrease from the previous year total sales, all right. So if I come to 2005, you can see there's an increase in the year over year total change from 2004, all right. So this is what you want to do, this is what you want to get here, okay. All right, so I already have a measure for that, and I'm going to show you. So we are looking at the year over year sales, all right, change. We are looking at the year over year percentage change, okay. So we are going to see that right here. So this is my year over year sales, all right, percentage. Now this is simply, excuse me, I have cold, so I'm suffering a little bit. So this is simply DAX function, all right, where CY, all right, represents current year, and so that is going to be, so current year is going to be our total sales. PY, which is previous year, is going to be our previous year sales, and with that we use this formula, which is to calculate total sales same period last year, and then from this, from our calendar date table, all right. So that is simply our PY, and then the change, all right. So the change is CY minus PY, and this is something that I've talked about. I've gone through. When you check or look at my time intelligence function video, all right, in Power BI, I explain how to do all of this. I actually broke them down into simpler methods for complete beginners, all right. This is a bit advanced, and so you might be a little troubled, but if you understood what that video was about, and you understood how things were done in that particular video, this should be quite familiar and quite easy for you to understand, all right, following whatever that is happening here, okay. All right, and so we have the percentage change, which is simply divide CY, all right, minus PY, and then by PY, all right, which is previous year. So current year's total sales, previous year total sales divided by previous year total sales is our percentage change, all right. And for the formatting of our percentage change, we are using this, all right, and then yeah, and so the the condition is if percentage change is greater than 0, that means if it is a positive figure from the previous year sales, then we want you to return the color green, all right. So this unique code here is simply that of color green, all right. Other than that, we want you to bring, all right, or return this code, all right, which is color red, all right. So this is just a DAX function. It's as simple as that, okay. All right, so you can also copy this as well if you are not entirely sure um if you want to grasp everything now, or you can grasp everything now, and then as time goes on, once you build on your skills, you can come back and then identify what this is all about. But this is essentially DAX, all right. You will see some people write PY is equal to calculate total sales, date add -1, and then comma year is also the same thing. You're also going to get the same result for the previous year sales, all right. Okay, so that is it for my Y over Y sales, or my year over year sales, all right. So now what am I going to do with this now that I've created this, all right. Now year over year, this is simply the subtitle, all right, under the title. So the title under my title, all right, so my subtitle. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come right in here, go to where my title is, all right, and then right under my title, I'm going to say subtitle. And so I'm going to turn my subtitle on. I'm going to hit on the arrow, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this subtitle name, as you can see right over here. So as you can see, we have the total sales per month once we turn the subtitle on, but that's not what we want, okay. So what I want is that I want to say, all right, so for my subtitle, I'm going to use my Y over Y sales, all right. So I have my full value selected. I'm going to go to my measures, all right, and select my year over year sales, all right. So I'm going to select this is what I want as my subtitle, all right. And so now you can see that now it's changed, okay. So it's changed from what it was to this, to a similar format as so, all right. And now I can just increase this a little bit, like so, okay. And I can make this bold, black, and I can take this to the right, all right, just under this. But again, is that all? If you are to change this, you can see that it's changing, but again, it's different from what we have over here, all right. And this is essentially because of the color code, all right. And so we are going to go back to our title here, right under here. So we have our title, and then we have the subtitle, and then right under the subtitle we have our text, All right, we have our formatting, and then we have the text color. All right, so the text color for this, our subtitle, and for that we are going to use another measure. All right, we are going to use another measure, and for this particular measure I created the CF. All right, so I created this measure for it. All right, so conditional format, year over year sales. All right, and this is essentially the formula. All right, so this is the DAX formula for that. All right, for my conditional formatting for year over year sales, as you can see it right over here. Okay, all right, and so that is that. And so when I come right in here, I'm going to come back here to my title, and then go to my subtitle. Go to my subtitle exactly, and then I'm going to go to text color, and I'm going to change it using conditional formatting, and I don't want it to be gradient, so I'll change it to field value. And then once I'm done changing it, I'm going to take my measure, all right, which is my CF, year over year sales, like so, and I'm going to hit on OK. So that now we have this. All right, so that now if I'm to do this, you can see now it's changing accordingly. All right, like so, and this is what we want. All right, and so yes, this is essentially how to build this amazing visualization. All right, using the cluster bar chart, or whichever chart. I believe this is a clustered bar chart, column chart. All right, excuse me. So this is a clustered column chart. So this is essentially how to build an amazing, top-notch clustered column chart in Power BI using various variables. All right, and so yes, I do hope you took something out of this particular video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, and if there's something that you still want to talk about, you can leave the comment in the comment section down below. I'll look at it, and if I need to answer, I'll do that accordingly. But I do hope this video was helpful to you, and it's helped add some additional value to your visualization or your dashboard creations. All right, if it did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can join the Nakama, so that when I upload any new video like so, again, you're going to be the first ones among others to be notified. So without much ado, we'll be doing the curtains to an end on this particular video. And like I always say, do be sure to take care of yourself, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. See ya.